The following program is rated TV MAL. It contains strong language and is intended only for mature audiences.
What you listening to, man? What they talking about? I got my hand up on that knob, trying to figure out. It doesn't matter who's the guest or what's the subject, cause they keep it 100 and them callers love it. The radio show got you tuned in, ready for action like a bad chick texting what's happening. They ain't here giving 5 o'clock news. Our hosts keep it blunt, sharing their point of views. They going in, man, cause they ain't got no filter. Cause they keep it 100, that's why we messing with you. Got you up to date with the latest with music and what's trending, that's basics. On primetime hours, you can never go wrong. And get night music and what's going on in your neck of the woods, like, hey, Al Roco on today, like, feeling entertained with the radio show. Tuesday, Thursday, taking over, let them know. Let them telephone rings, yeah, I'm on this thing.
Go, Ed. So as far as like, I don't know, drinking with alcohol, do you actually like alcohol or like the idea of alcohol? Because I don't know. I mean, it's a lot of it that's really strong. I don't know how good it tastes. So you feel like people are like into just, oh, well, yeah, I had a drink or two. I need a drink to take the edge off. Like, how are you with that?
Me personally, I don't like love alcohol. Like I get some people that have the liquor cabinet and, you know, the beer in the fridge and all that stuff. Like, I mean, I drink it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I just don't drink it. I do. I'm very much a social drinker, if you will. But like, even when I'm like socially drinking, there are some moments like it's like, and this stuff is like, you know, mixed with something, it's good, but there's a lot of times this stuff's not good. And like people like one, there's like a few IPAs that I like, but there's some that taste like, you know, you're gonna kill me for this, but it, you know, it tastes like absolute dog water, like just straight shit. And they're like, oh my God, it's so good. And it's like, no, this tastes terrible. Like if I had shit, this is what I feel like shit would taste like. like there's just some, I think there's some I think there's some drinks that's like folks really just be doing the most with, like trying too hard with. Like me, a good mixed drink, you know, like a Coke, a Jack and Coke, right? Or, you know, a cranberry vodka or a lemon drop or a good margarita or something like that. Like, you know, that's good. You know what I'm saying? Like those taste good, but like to just sit there and pretend like, you know, like one in particular for me, like people that just like casually drink tequila straight, like I don't know what's wrong with you. I feel like every time I have shots of tequila or drink tequila, like bad things happen. I feel terrible afterwards. You know, that night the next day you wake up and you're like, damn, this shit was terrible. Why did I have this?
Right.
It smelled like that's one for sure. I'm just like, people that just casually sip on it. It's like straight. I'm like, what is wrong with you? Like, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I think like, you know, due to like the media, social media and music videos and, you know, these scenes and at the club and people having a good time, I think people like the idea of alcohol, but when they really get into, you know, the pregame and then they go out to the event and then the after party and then maybe the kickback, man, you tired of alcohol after one point. You either tired of it or you too fucked up to even know where you are, and you asking your buddy the next day like, hey, what happened?
Yeah. Because I was wondering that, because it's a lot of people who be like, yo, I need to drink something. And then it's like, well, you like the idea of saying that you need one based on what might be happening. Maybe you had a really bad day at work or traffic got on your nerves. It could be anything. You feel like you need to take the edge off by having a drink. Now, to what you said, there are some things that are strong. Now, take somebody like myself where outside of, I had like a sip of champagne at my wedding. Other than that, I have not had a drink in, I don't know, what is this? This is 2023. So I ain't had a drink in like 11 or 12 years. I just decided one day, I was like, I'm good. I don't need it. I'm good. You know, I was more of a, you know, I drink a beer or beers, you know, I'm watching games or, you know, I'm out, I have a beer with my dinner or something like that. I also was a Crown and Coke or Hennessy and Coke person as well, Jack Daniels, stuff like that. But when you think back on it, like when I was drinking Jack Daniels, like, yo, this doesn't taste good because I'm having to drink this. I'm drinking it straight and then I'm chasing it down with a beer. It's not ideal. I mean, I've done that with Dad. Dad and I were drinking these things called Boilermakers, and I told him, I'm like, Dad, I can't keep doing this with you, man.
He's the Boilermaker king, man. Like,
yes,
thing.
I'm like, I can't do this with you. Like, I was passing out on the couch and stuff like that, like this, that, and then you wake up, you feel weighed down. So I don't know.
Do you think you feel that way because you've, like, you know, you've had a good, like, you've drunk for so long, like, not to call you obviously you're not a drunk, but like, because you've, like, you know, had your fun before you got married, and like when you were younger, you went to parties, and like, you know, you lived a good life, right? Like, do you think it's a part of it is just like, been there, done that, like, you know, it is what it is, like, I'm cool with it now? Man,
that's a good question, and I'm gonna say, not really. It's a good question. I think for me, it was more of, it wasn't doing anything for me, even in the moment. Like, does an ice cold beer taste good when somebody hands you one and you just down that sucker? Sure, it's good, but have I lacked anything by not having said beer in the last decade? No, not really. Not really. And I just didn't like the way it made me feel after the fact. Like, anything that's supposed to take the edge off it, then by the same token is going to make me either sick to my stomach and or with a massive headache the next day. I might as well just be stressed out. I might as well just deal with the stress that I was dealing with versus waking up with a hangover. Now I got two sets of problems. Whatever issue I had before while I started drinking is still there, and now I got a goddamn headache. So I would say that's a good way of putting it, though, where it's like, man, you know, I was out here doing my thing, you know, doing this stuff, and now I'm just over it. For me, I just, you know, it was one of them things where it's almost spiritual. It's like the Lord was like, yo, you don't need it. Just don't no more. So I don't. And yeah.
I mean, you know, you got to respect that. Like, for me, like, you know, I was just like, you know, in New York City, one of my homeboys, we met up, you know, had dinner, went go get drinks, and it was like, it was cool. We had a good time. Like, you know, we remember everything, right? But it was like, you know, I got back to my hotel and I'm like, I'm good. Like, I don't have to go get another drink. Like, I'm not looking forward to opening up the cabinet when I get home and pouring another one. Like, I'm good until I meet up with another friend or, you know, whatever the case might be. Like, you know, I think, I don't know, I maybe have a different perspective on it, because like, I know people that, you know, got turned up in college, partied, did everything, and they still do it. You know what I'm saying? But I also know people that, like, that weren't like me, that when they were in school, they didn't turn up, they didn't go to the clubs, they didn't go to parties. I did, and now we're at the same age where it's like, I'm okay with it. Like, I don't have to have liquor in the cabinet and get turned up. Whereas like some of those people that didn't get turned up in college and played it safe, now they're like, hey, let's go drink, let's go do this. It's like, yo, like, you late, man. Like, I've been there, done that.
Yeah,
like, good.
And I notice a theme in what you're saying, bro. We've been around each other in social settings like that where I'm not one of these people, and you aren't either, where if somebody chooses not to do that, I ain't begrudging people. I'm not one of the people where I choose not to do it and I'm shaming you like, hey, don't drink that drink, you know. No, I feel like if you're a responsible adult, man, have your fun, have your drinks if that's what you're into, you know, as long as you being safe and stuff like that. I'm not the one to be, you know, touting about why you shouldn't do it. If you had a hard day at work and you feel like drinking a shot of, you know, whiskey or whatever it is going to help you feel better, then, you know, take your shot responsibly. That's all I can say. But I just feel like it's a lot of, like, you know, when we talk about hip hop, I feel like not just hip hop, but music in general, like, leads you to like, oh yeah, you know, you got to have a drink to feel such and such or whatever. So let me ask you in that vein, Easy, if you're not drinking, like, what's your alternative? You know, like, if you're not drinking and you out with friends, what are you doing? You just, you know, grab a Coke or something, or water? What's your deal?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. Like I said, I'm very much like, and I'm very much a social drinker, right? So I know how to read the room. Like if everybody's grabbing like a mixed drink or a beer, then hey, I'll tag along with that, right? Like I'll go with the flow. But I'm not the one to just be like, man, we're at dinner. I need a mixed drink, or I need a glass of wine, or whatever. Like that's just me, especially like, working in corporate America, right? Like, you go on to these conferences, you go to these trips,
Yep.
Not to say that I feel pressured, but sometimes, you see everybody, your coworkers grabbing a drink, and you're like, well, shoot, I ain't trying to look crazy out here or miss out on that promotion because I didn't get a drink with the boss. So
yeah, or you got Phil from account, like, come on, Ez, man, come on, have one with us, buddy, come on over here,
right?
That type thing. No, I could feel that. I don't know. I just feel like also too, when you're drinking like that, you got to be careful because it's like you got to stick to one thing, because it can't be like, okay, you just had a bunch of beers and now you want to just switch to like, oh, I'm cool, I'm gonna just have a Sprite or something afterwards. It's like once you're committed to liquor and that's what you're drinking, or you're gonna end up with a different set of problems. So it's like, what do you do? But I don't know. I felt like it was an interesting question to ask because it felt like the culture might be more into the idea of alcohol versus what it actually tastes like. Because if anybody says that, I got another one with this, and then I guess we could move to other things. But what's a drink that people swear up and down is good, but you've had it and you like, that doesn't really taste that good, or that's real harsh?
Tequila is definitely one. The shots of it, like I could do it, like obviously like a margarita or a mixed drink with it, but like shots of tequila is just brutal. I don't know. I've never seen anybody take a shot of tequila and go. Everybody's like lemon, lime, whatever, and it just that's one. Several brown drinks. If it ain't mixed, I'm cool with like E&J's one. Like E&J's brutal, man. But I see some folks, they have the bottle of it and they're just like sipping on it. I'm just like, man, can you give me a Dr. Pepper or a Coke or something? I gotta mix this, man. It's
strong.
Yeah, man. So those are two. I'm just like, I'm okay. Like I'm not missing out. IPAs, depending on how ale-y they taste, if they're dark or not, like that's one I'm just like, if it don't taste like similar to beer, I'm good on it. Like I'm just not trying to pretend like I like this heavy wheat beer. That dark beer.
Are we talking beer?
We
talking drinks.
Yeah. Khujeaux, what up, man?
What's up?
So yeah, we was just riffing about, we were asking the question and we were on the tail end of it. We'd love to know your thoughts about this.
Ask them 16. Get Khujeaux's thoughts.
All right, so Khujeaux, with this, man, when it comes to alcohol, do you think people actually like alcohol or the idea of alcohol?
I mean, you mean like just the taste of straight liquor? Is that the question?
Yeah, essentially that's what it is. Like, do people really like that burning sensation when you drink a glass of Hennessy? Or do you like the idea that you're sitting in the club with a glass of Hennessy in your hand saying, I'm drinking Hennessy?
I think it is more the idea. That, I mean, you can acquire a taste for something, or appreciate the different flavors and aromas and notes and all that kind of stuff, different drinks. But if you didn't, everybody likes it, didn't start off liking it.
Yeah,
you got to a point where over time, issues,
you acquired the taste of it, that type thing.
Yeah. So after that first sip, your first time trying something, you definitely didn't love it as much as you do now. So I think it's the idea, and also, you're drinking for a purpose, right? Like nobody's drinking for the taste. It's gonna get you to point B, which is buzzed, drunk, or whatever you're trying to, Yeah, I think it's definitely the idea more than it is the actual taste.
Would you consider yourself a social drinker, or do you just kind of like do you have liquor at the crib or beers at the crib, or is it kind of like?
I do. I would drink anything with alcohol in it, but again, I'm drinking to get to point B more than I am for the taste. That being said, I do drink tequila on the rocks. It was definitely an acquired taste. I had to get there to, be able to taste all the different, tequila sipping stuff on trips and vacations, and now I think I'm fancy, so I gotta keep up this image. So,
man, you ain't putting a splash of nothing with that tequila. You drinking that straight?
Rocks.
Yeah,
Khujeaux's
one of them. Khujeaux's one of them crazy people I'm talking about, man. Like I'll do a shot, but I'm not drinking it straight. It's just.
So how many of them glasses of straight tequila you nursing before you like, okay, I've had my fill? 3 maybe?
I mean, what kind of night we trying to have?
It's Friday night. There ain't no work going on the next day.
It's that kind of night. I'd say maybe about four glasses.
Okay, you trying to sleep?
I'll be straight.
Yeah, he trying to sleep.
And then I'm saying we can go, depending on how long it's going, how long the night is lasting. But I go about 4 glasses.
Interesting.
We talking glass.
I mean, what if you count a shot on ice?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, and with tequila,
if I'm at home, there's no measuring. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to give the measurement for the audience here.
He's like, what's the ice to drink ratio here? Because we're at home, we can pour as much or as little as we want to with no consequences.
You're not getting charged, man.
Yes.
Yeah. I probably pour myself a double or so at the house.
Okay. Yeah, it just came up because I was like, a lot of times you hear people say, and we were talking about this before you got on here, Khujeaux, about how people say, man, I had a long day at work. Man, this midterm kicked my ass. I sure could, I need a drink. And it's like, but why do you need it? Is it for the taste? Probably not, because 90% of it don't taste good. So what is it for? It's, as you explained and as we were talking about, it's to get you to a certain section of where you want to be. And where you want to be, it might end up with a incredible hangover in the morning. So I guess if it's worth it to some people.
Nah, man. Yeah, that's definitely it. I challenge anybody who say they're doing it for the taste.
Yeah, I agree. I think to your point though, 16, if you're working a shitty job, right, and your boy hits you up or the girlfriend or the wife, it's like, hey, let's just go out and get drinks and just, not think about work till Monday. Then the vibe's gonna be a little different, right? Like you're gonna, do things a little bit differently there. But I don't know. I'm with Khujeaux. I feel like folks that's like, oh, I'm doing it for the taste. It's like,
You know what else tastes good? Juice. You know what you're not asking for at the end of a long day of work? Juice.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
If I put my earphones in and we're sitting there, I don't want to have a conversation with you. I don't need to get to know you. I don't care where you're from. I don't care about your grandkids. I don't care.
You're listening to The Radio Show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
Man, we got our homeboy Khujeaux back on the show where he belongs. Snack plug himself. All right, Khujeaux. Snack plug, what you got for us this week?
Nothing.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
outwardly, but I think he has a love for both. I think he's smashing both.
A love for both.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep.
Equal opportunity love.
And also I'm going to say on behalf of the Plush Pals and Big Girl Committee, thank you for going back to your preference.
Yeah.
Okay. We all know that you have to be a little taller to ride certain rides. Okay. And I'm going to leave it at that because I said what I said. Dije lo que dije.
You're listening to the radio show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, so I want to get you guys' opinion on something. It was something that dawned on me about a week ago. I just rolled into our favorite, Chinese joint out here in the A, and I went and picked up, it's a nice little ticket. It's like $70 worth of food, and then it's like a tip on there. But I'm like, I walked in to get it. I understand you made it, but I'm not sitting down. Like, I don't know, more places you go to where you're picking up things, you're ordering stuff. They're like, would you like the tip? But it's like, what did they actually like do? Everything is just centered around tipping. And I just want to know, first off, what do we call it? Is it tip culture? Is it not sure what we call it?
I think you call it guilt tipping, because with every, like, I don't know. I feel like, and this is my crazy theory about it, before the pandemic, I feel like sit down restaurants, you had the tip on the receipt, right? Or on the virtual thing, because, you were getting served by somebody. And then like with, DoorDash or whatever, like you add a tip because somebody's bringing it to you. It's delivery, right? And, you always tip the pizza guy. And then the pandemic happened and like everybody went to these like virtual iPads as their registers. And, they turn that thing around after they just charge your card. And then they're like, boom, it's a tip right in your face. And it's like, oh, it's the pandemic. Like, obviously business ain't booming. Like, I'll tip you. And then, we kind of gotten back to normal. We have. And people still turning that iPad around. And it's like you got to get to the tip before you can, like, be done with your purchase. Like, I think it's like there's no way to skip it now.
I think what it is now it's like, because to your point, it's the iPads or the new interface. Before it was on the receipt. You know what I mean? Like, they hand you your receipt and it's more private, because there's always been the tip line on most receipts, the paper receipts that you get at restaurants. That's always been there. But to your point, it feels more like a stare down, like what's the Diddy and that dude on the GIF where yeah. So it feels kind of more like that. Whereas on the receipt, you had it and you were like, I'm just gonna draw a line through it or whatever, and then keep it moving.
But like with that stare though, it's like you're looking at each other, they're looking at you, and it's like the restaurant owner's like, well, are you going to be a nice person or an asshole and tip us? Like,
right. Yeah, I've always tipped. My first real job was service industry, so I see how little they can make in certain situations. Like, most people think like you don't tip when you do takeout, but the folks at Takeout do dress the food and do certain stuff, before it comes out and gets put in the box or whatever. Or when they put it in the box. So I mean, if I got it, I'm gonna tip something. You know what I mean? Like, if it was
but then you have these folks that like, oh man, if you're not tipping an X amount of percentage, you cheap, you shouldn't be eating out. You got that side of the equation too, right? Like, you might only have like $2, but then they're like, oh, you're cheap, you just bought this $60 meal and you're only tipping $2, da 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 da. Like, you feel like some of that noise is fair?
I think to an extent it's fair. I think if you are going to a certain type of establishment, you should be prepared to tip like a fair amount, you know what I mean, or whatever's considered. I try to do minimum 15, and most times I do 20, or I may go above that if it was like that's the bottom, and then from there, based on the service that I got, it can go up. But like, if you ordered a $5 meal from somewhere, like, should you tip $2? Like, no. But if you go into like Steak Market Atlanta or like, I don't know, STK or M16 $75 Chinese food restaurant that he went to or whatever, then yeah, you should probably be prepared to tip 20%.
It's easy to spend $75 at this spot, but real talk though, Khujeaux, I feel like
fair, he's getting a shit ton of food if he spends $75.
Yes.
Look, when you first said Chinese food, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, you know, a little hood spot next to the gas station or whatever.
This is bourgeois. This is bourgeois, homie.
Oriental,
a lot of
and
sushi.
It's in the area of our former oppressor, so you know that's a little bougie part of town. So it's out there in Vinings. So, but I feel like it's like, I mean, you can't go nowhere without it. And the stuff that you were mentioning with that, Khujeaux, it makes sense. You know, you going down to a sit down place. Obviously, yes, you got a good server. Yes, 18%, 20%, obviously. But if I'm going to Five Guys, man, and I just, you know, like, do I really got to tip the guy 18% because he made my burger? Like, those are the ones, and it's guilt tip where it was like, you know, you feel bad when you hit that X on it in a spot like that where it's like, damn, you know, you're not tipping. It's like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I always try to think about, look, they are obviously working this job for a reason, so they need something. So it's not like I'm handing it over to like you said, Five Guys. Like, I'm not handing over to Mr. Guys or whoever the CEO is of Five Guys. I imagine Guys is his last name. I don't know. But like, I'm not handing it to him directly. So like, whoever the dude is in there making, you know, $10 an hour or whatever, that's just kind of the approach that I'll take. But I don't think you should be required to. It's almost like, it's gonna sound bad. It's almost like panhandling, right? Like, you could give somebody money out of the kindness of your heart, but like, I don't have to. You know what I mean?
Right. Because your obligation is to pay the bill. Your obligation is whatever items you order. Your obligation is to pay that particular debt.
Right.
So,
but again, I'm gonna put an asterisk on it, because if you go into a restaurant, sit down where you know the server only making $2.13 an hour, and you just ordered $600 worth of food.
That's a different story,
but that's
right? Like that.
But that's what the problem is.
Yeah.
Well, no, like Khujeaux said, like if it's a sit down restaurant, right? Like even the Longhorn Steakhouses of the world, right?
The
Applebee's, like you're gonna tip your server, right? Because they're serving you, right?
Yes.
I really give kudos to the restaurants that just add the tip in there. Like, hey, you gotta pay this.
I don't like that, because I feel like it takes the incentive away from the server sometimes, because you're like, I'm getting my tip regardless. Sometimes that could take away from their quality of how they serving you. But Khujeaux brought up a good point. Like, why are we paying waiters $2.13 and then putting the pressure on the consumer to make up the rest of what the company should be paying them? If you're paying a server, let's say you pay him a salary of $22 an hour, where, you know, I guess it might be in the same vein where what incentive do they have to do a good job other than keeping their job? But paying them $2 and then expecting the consumer to make up the rest of what you're not paying them is kind of unfair to me, to the consumer, because as Khujeaux said, it's basically dressed up panhandling. Spare change? Anyone spare change?
Yeah. And you know what's funny? I mean, I again, take this at face value, because I did no additional research on my own, but I saw someone put a lot of work into a thread on social media explaining how basically, you know, I love black people because we tie everything back to slavery, but they tied the $2.13 back to slavery, and like Jim Crow era is kind of where that, you know, as black people started kind of getting into the workforce, I think was basically, to summarize it, is that they paid them the lowest wage possible, and then that carried over. How true that is, I don't know. Sounds feasible. Everything ties back to slavery. Right.
Yeah,
sounds right.
It sounds about right. I mean, we still working on the 5-day 40-hour work week that was created in the 20s, and we are in.
That's what I was gonna say. That sounds like some Henry Ford 40-hour work week, 5-day crap.
I don't want you working from home. I need to see that you're working. That's what that's like.
Yeah. And we going on a big ass tangent right now, but my thing is the folks defending the 5-2. It's like you don't want more time not working. Like, it's regular people, not like CEOs. Like you said in the comments, like oh, that's 32-hour work week wouldn't work, or that's, I don't know, man. It's people are weird.
I think, you know, not to try to go down the tangent that I think we're going on, but let's not act like some jobs have to work 5 days.
You don't.
There are some jobs you can get the job done in 4 days. I mean, Jesus Christ. You go across to Europe, they laugh at that 40-hour 5-day work week.
Bro, they have no urgency. They have no urgency. Have you worked with anyone from the UK?
Policies and our like time off and anything with leave, they think we're slaves.
Yeah.
Have you ever with anybody through the UK? You know how somebody see your email and it's like it's urgent, you got to get it done by close of business. You know, folks over there in Europe, they be like, oh, whatever, I'll get to that when I get to it. Like, if it fits into what I'm doing, I'll get around to it. But
they definitely got a better balance. They got it figured out over there.
I guess just to, tie a bow on the tip culture, panhandling, however you want to call it. Khujeaux, yes or no? Should you tip on takeout?
I'm gonna say yes.
All right.
If I'm picking it up, no.
Curbside, I do. I'm with you.
Curbside. If you're bringing it to the car and I'm putting my number in the app saying that I'm here,
I'm tipping you. I do. Same here. Walking in on it, I just feel something about I had to walk in. I paid the ticket, and it's not to me. It's not being cheap.
It's drive there, right? It's
right.
Like we live in Atlanta, bro. Traffic's terrible everywhere. So it's one thing. I'm not door dashing, right? Because those prices are out of control. Like I'm driving there, fighting traffic.
Yes.
I gotta park, walk in, and if your restaurant's good, I'm waiting in line behind 3 or 4 people.
Yep.
Not to mention the phone's buzzing in the background, so I'm dealing with somebody that's like trying to do double duty. Unfortunately.
Yep.
Like. Yeah,
that shit always blows me. The same person working the register and dressing and giving the food out is also answering the phones. Like, I get it, understaffing is a real problem, but yeah, couldn't be me. Some of the phones ain't getting answered, or somebody ain't getting their food.
Corporations pay these people more. $2.13 in 2023 and expecting me to pick up the tab on it. Like Easy said, if I'm coming in to get it, well, $2.13 it is.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I don't have road rage. I just don't like when people get in the left lane and do the speed limit. Nigga, if you gonna get in this lane, you gotta accept the risk that you could potentially get a ticket. That's what this lane is for.
You're listening to The Radio Show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, y'all. It's time to the 3 of us to get into a heated argument. It's time for one gotta go, and we're gonna take a dip into the food category, which never fails us, right?
Never.
And we're gonna do types of sandwiches. Okay, so we got 4 choices here. We'll go through them and we'll see which one's gotta go. So we got the fish sandwich. Those of you that think of Popeyes, right, or the one, what's that one at McDonald's, whatever, the fish sandwich, the fillet of fish. There you go.
All right.
Next one, we have burgers, the traditional burger, right, hamburger, cheeseburger, whatever you want to call it. Next up, we got the chicken sandwich, right? So Popeyes, Chick-fil-A, right? The chicken sandwich. And then the last option we have is the sub, meatball sub.
It's a hard list, Easy.
Italian sub, Jimmy John's, Subway, you name it. Is Quiznos still around? Probably not.
No.
So those are the 4 choices, all right? So we got the fish sandwich, the hamburger, the chicken sandwich, or the sub of your choosing. And
is a hot dog a sandwich?
Yes, this will fall into that category because if you think about it, like the bun is kind of like the bread. I would lump it in there. So I would say hot dogs and po' boys. Hot dogs and po' boys would fall into the sub category.
All right.
Well, with that being said,
I don't eat hot dogs. That's just random. It's just random.
Yeah. Well,
but Yeah, I'll jump right in, man. I'm gonna say subs gotta go. I'm gonna say subs. I know that's probably the most versatile sandwich on the list. But personally, I don't do processed meats, so I'm getting rid of subs.
Not even the meatballs, or
no, man. Because
come on,
everybody do
man,
meatballs
marinara
different.
sub or whatever.
Look, if I'm getting meatballs, I'm eating the baby shower meatballs, so I'm still good. I ain't just putting it on bread.
There's nothing like meatballs at a baby shower from a hastily had baby.
Baby shower meatballs, top tier, bro. Out of wedlock baby shower meatballs, top tier.
They're the ones, because ain't gonna be no wedding, so they're going all in.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody got their special meatball recipe.
Yeah. God, this is gonna be crazy because I love them, but the chicken sandwich got to go for me.
Oh,
that's rough, easy, man, because that's taking Chick-fil-A off the list, and that's
I need to hear this one.
And that's the thing. I think I just prefer my chicken, fried chicken, on the bone, or like strips or nuggets. Chick-fil-A doesn't count me out because I can still get the strips and the nuggets.
Yeah, that's
even
rough,
though that's the best thing on the menu. I don't know. Like, I love chicken sandwiches, but like out of this list, that's the one that's got to go for me.
Damn,
now that I think about it, I don't hate that. I don't hate that, because I'm trying to think about like how often do I really, even at Chick-fil-A, like how often do I really get the chicken sandwich? I mean, that's kind of my go-to, but like then I'm thinking about the restaurants. Yeah, I don't hate that as much as I thought I did.
Man, this is a list. Can I say this easy? This is a list with no bad choices in my view. Like, all of these are great. In this instance, for me, what would have to go, and I was over here like, dang, what is it? It's the fish sandwich. And it's in the same vein, is that it didn't say that I can't eat fish. I just can't have it in a sandwich. So I can still have my catfish. I can still have bread. It just ain't a sandwich. So I would eliminate.
And that's why I went the chicken route. So I can't argue with you there. I will say I thought the fish sandwich was going to get destroyed on here. But there are just so many good fish sandwiches. And sometimes,
it is.
Depending on the fish joint, I ain't trying to dig through no bones or anything. I know that piece of fish is, clean cut, fried.
Yeah.
You throw in the tartar sauce or the mayo with the pickles. It's a great combo.
I will say, we talking about this, but I'm not getting rid of brioche. And both the sandwiches that y'all just named.
Yes.
Brioche.
Right.
So brioche should die over in this house.
But you can have a burger on a brioche bun, though.
But I'm just saying, you talking about
it don't taste the same on a burger. I feel like with the fish and the chicken, it's just a perfect combination.
I mean, I still do brioche on my burger.
And Khujeaux just gave me another idea for one guy to go. We got to do types of breads because we're just fat asses on here. So 16 remind me of that. We got to go.
All right, we gotta remember that types of breads. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, that one was a great one. There, like I said, no bad choices on that one. I'm pretty sure you got something else diabolical in your pocket, don't you?
I do. And let's be honest, we all love our snacks. Okay, like I love chips. The shit's great. 16
like
eat a
snacks
bag.
a little bit.
Yeah,
yes.
Khujeaux has a whole channel dedicated to it. So
at your snack plug on Instagram.
Yeah, we're real versed in the snack realm. So hell, we'll talk about kettle chips for a second. So we got 5 brands here, and one of them's got to go. Okay, yeah, these are brands.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
So you got the Kettle brand potato chips.
Yep.
With the you got Cape Cod.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Lay's Kettle Cooked chips. Then you have Dirty River chips, or the original recipe. I know y'all familiar. We probably see it.
Yeah, I know about Dirty chips. Yep.
Yeah, and then you have Zaps. Okay. So we got Kettle, Cape Cod, Lay's Kettle Cooked, Dirty, and then Zaps. So who wants to go first on this one?
Yeah, I dive in there easy. Now, this might be controversial from where we're coming from, man. I ate so many Zaps as a kid, man. The jalapeno Zaps, Yeah, they could. Man, I had my fill of those. They can actually go. I'm good on them. I ain't had none in years. I ain't had none in years. I ain't had none of the craw taters and stuff. I'm good. I can get my my taste of home. I can get my taste of Zatarain's elsewhere. So I'm gonna go ahead. Yeah.
That would be the first to stay for me. Like, it's not even close.
You didn't get your fill, man. Listen, let me tell you something. I done had way too many craw
I
taters.
can't tell you the last time I ate a bag of Zaps, but them things are so damn good.
But I'm saying, if you can't tell me the last time you had them, then they probably could just go. That's where the category I'm in.
There's a few brands. It's been longer that I've had some. Like,
I can't recall ever Lay's kettle. I mean, I guess it would have to be because they did start coming out with some interesting flavors over that whole choose your flavor contest thing.
Yeah, but it's between Cape Cod and Lay's for me.
I'm gonna say Lay's.
Yeah, I'm leaning Lay's too.
Yeah. Kettle ain't going nowhere.
Kettle, the portfolio, the flavors, they're all really good.
Dirty chips are underrated. They're underrated. People don't talk about them enough with how good they are, you know.
Yeah, and
I gotta see that bag. That's not ringing a bell. The name.
They're in Publix. Like when you go if you get a sub from Publix, they have them like right there.
Dang, my screen's all messed up. Well, because I got the background.
Put your hand behind it.
Oh.
Now he disappeared.
Yeah,
he's gone.
Right,
those are good. They're good.
Because they have one. It's like a blue buffalo or something. Oh my god, it's so good.
Just the one you show right there. Just the regular one in that brown bag. Those are good. You know they've been there for you.
Their jalapeno ones are good too.
I thought you were gonna put Miss Vicky's in there.
Those are good, man.
I thought you were gonna throw Miss Vicky's in there too.
So if we did discuss Miss Vicky's, would that sway you at all? Because Miss Vicky's is good.
Lay's is still. We could throw as many other brands in there as we want. That Lay's is gonna go.
Yeah, it was between that and Cape Cod. I feel like all the Cape Cods kind of taste the same.
I don't know. That Cape Cod barbecue is pretty good, man. It's got a nice taste to it.
I don't know a better jalapeno. I mean, it's some good jalapenos out there.
I mean, I said Zap's got to go, but Zap's
jalapeno
is good. But I had them so much in high school.
But it's good. It's good.
I had in high school, just in the 10th grade alone, I had too many Zaps. You know, it was the same thing. It was some jalapeno Zaps, a Twix, and a Dr. Pepper.
I feel like that was my introduction to kettle chips. I don't know that I had a kettle chip. I think Cape Cod might have been the kettle chip brand for my house growing up.
I feel like that was a lot of people's first go round with a kettle chip was Cape Cod because you could find them a lot more. They were easily accessible.
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like Lay's always had them just to try to compete with the others, but they know that's not their place. You know,
they aren't terrible though. They're not terrible.
They're not.
No, but
they're not. I don't think they're not a worthy competitor when it comes to the rest of these brands that we're talking about.
Okay, so one for Zaps and then two for Lay's kettle.
All right, M60. If you saying you love them so much that you had your fill and you just are okay with them being gone, what's the one that doesn't taste as good?
Like the flavor of Zaps, you mean? Or are you talking about the what's remaining?
No, the chips. Yeah, the other brands you didn't choose.
Okay, so if taking that out of the equation, which would have been the next one up, it probably Lay's, because they would be my last choice of thinking of if I couldn't get anything else. Like, dang, I really want some kettle chips. There's nothing else here. Okay, I could roll with Lay's, but they're not the first choice of a kettle chip. So it would be Lay's. I'd be in agreement with y'all on that one. Again, they've been there for you. Not terrible, but definitely not the first choice.
Put it like this: you walking in the grocery store, you want some kettle chips. There's a bag of Zaps. And then there's Lay's kettle. Which one are you grabbing?
Some Ruffles.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
I'm going to go on a limb here and say I don't hate the remake of Karate Kid. It's not that bad.
It's not that good either.
You're listening to The Radio Show ATL on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right. We're at the point of the show. We're going to call this the ATL Diva portion of the show. It's random where you can take the show anywhere you want to go at any point in time and say whatever you want to, or AKA be just like ATL Diva. Khujeaux, man, you have not been on in a month of Sundays, as the older people would say, or me or whomever.
Make it awkward.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
but
I got you.
What's on your mind?
I'm going to keep it food, man. Tartar sauce and cocktail sauce are ass condiments. Those are the worst, possibly the worst condiments in existence.
He's not wrong. He's not.
I feel like they shouldn't exist simply because you don't use them on anything else other than fish. And
they serve a one food per condiment purpose.
One food.
One's for shrimp, one's for fish, period.
And you can't even get creative with it. I've never seen somebody making us another type of sauce and be like, oh, and add a teaspoon of cocktail sauce. Or, you know, you make this bolognese by adding tartar sauce or something like that. I've never seen a tartar sauce burger. I've never seen a cocktail sauce burger. Like, they are very, very niche and they taste awful. So, yeah, that's my random.
I am dead. Khujeaux said they are ass condiments.
That's why Khujeaux had to go first. I'll jump in.
All right.
Stay with me, everybody. So we all have a phone, a game on our phone that we like to play, right? Whether it's to kill time, whatever purpose it serves for you, right? Maybe you've just had it on your phone for so long and you've beaten so many levels, you're just with it. You're like, hey, fuck it, I'm here, whatever. I never understood the concept of, hey, if you watch this ad, we'll double the points that you won on this round, right? And you're like, nah, I'm good. Skip video. I want to just play the next level. But then you play an ad anyway. I just told you I didn't want to watch an ad. Like, you offered me the double points. I said no. And now you're making me watch an ad anyway. And I don't get the double points anyway. What kind of, like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's your punishment for not taking the incentive.
You don't want to watch an ad? Well, watch an ad.
Yeah, like, man, it seems like
they were gonna play a longer one for you that they get paid more money on, so they was gonna give you some fun bucks for it.
Yeah, I just was thinking about that. It's like you know, I'm just trying to, you know, new game, and you know how every game you play on your phone, right? It's like, oh man, you know, like, pay this one-time fee of $8 and all the ads go away. Like, I don't even know if I'm gonna have this game by the end of the day. It's probably gonna get deleted in the next 5 minutes. Like, can you chill?
Yeah, ads in games are the worst, and especially the ones in kids games, because they know it's just a never-ending trail of like ads for other games that the kids gonna want to download and stuff. It's awful. It is satanic.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I know those games are like making a ton of money off of it, but
oh yeah, they got it.
Damn, if I ain't getting my, like, I said no to the double dollars or whatever, like, just let me play the next level, damn it.
Also, fuck microtransactions. I've been had a beef with microtransactions or in-app purchases from the iPhone 4. It's that shit. That's why we are where we are right now with gaming, where everything is paid DLC, everything is, you gotta pay more, everything's a fucking subscription service. It started with in-app purchases. So fuck microtransactions.
I love that.
That was my other one.
No, all good. As your gripe is legitimate.
Yeah, I got some catching up to do. I got a bunch of randoms that I got.
Get them out.
You're going to have to put them in your notes on your phone.
Right.
Get them out. Get them out. All right. So I'm gonna jump on you. I'm gonna jump in with this one with a story about how corporate America simply does not care about you, and this is a true story. So I'm about to give some full transparency. Okay. All right. So my government name is Raphael. All right. I'm openly saying that, and the reason why this is significant is
and
because
your Social Security.
Right.
The reason why this is significant is because several years ago, Khujeaux and I shared a job at this orange hell that we used to work at, and a situation that happened where another person at the job named Raphael, who spelled his name completely different than me, got promoted, which was good for him, except everybody in the department was coming to congratulate me for being promoted, except me and this person spelled our name completely different, and his last name was like a foreign name, and everybody's like, hey man, heard you got that promotion to I forget what department it was, and I'm like, Yeah, I'm pretty sure we've been working here together for like 8 years. That is not my name, and I haven't been promoted because I'm still sitting here. Oh, I'm so sorry. This happened to me no less than 9 times when this dude got promoted. Oh, we're sorry that you're leaving the department. I'm not going any fucking where. I ain't get promoted. Where the hell you think I'm going? I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna suffer until I leave. That's how this works here. So that was just my way of saying that people didn't even take enough time to pay attention to the spelling of the name. They just saw it was like, hey, you must have been the one that got promoted. No, I wasn't. You know how crazy it was where every day it's like, hey, congratulations on your promotion. It wasn't me. It's the other Raphael who got the whatever. Thanks. I appreciate it. Cool. I'm on the bigger and better. So that is my way of saying that not only do the corporations not care about you, but the people that you work don't even take the time to care about you, where they're like, yo, the name says the same, so it must be you. It wasn't me. It wasn't me at all.
And now
that's been sticking with me.
Yeah. How does that gift go? Who would have thought? Look at us.
Who would have thought?
I wouldn't have.
Look at us now.
Look at us now.
We could still be there, but we're not. But I'm just saying that always stuck with me. I'm like, yo, I've been working with y'all since the doors open here. You don't know the difference between this guy's name and my name. They don't even spell the same way. What are we doing? What are we doing? We couldn't be any further from each other from what we look like or anything. But that's how it is. So yeah, that one was sticking with me for a second. I just had to get that out there. That's how they did me. 9 or 10 people, no less. Email coming by my desk. We're sorry to see you go. I'm like, where am I going?
Should just took it and then just stayed there.
Your heart probably is dropping because you're like, oh shit, did I get fired? Like,
no, I would have been like, I am. They should have called me. I would have never came here today in the first place.
or like, am I getting furloughed or whatever?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, we're sorry to see you leave. Like, what the hell? Like, do I need to log into something? Like, what I do? Like, so yes, that was a very awkward situation. So the lesson with this one is that when somebody gets promoted at your job and they might have the same name, make sure that the person that you're congratulating actually got promoted. Just saying.
You ever seen your name get spelled wrong in the email? It's like, you put my name in the to field and you proceeded to type it wrong in the text.
Yep. You don't know how many times I've been Rachel in an email and nobody just pays attention.
Dude.
But whatever. It's cool. You know what you're doing.
My name's 4 letters. Okay. 4. And for the life of me, I don't know what's been going on the past few weeks, but everybody is doing ERZA, and I don't know where the fuck it came from.
That feels like a typo, but also it feels like one you could correct.
Like
Ursa?
But like you said, Khujeaux, it's like, it's one thing, right? Because it's like if it could be external, right? And they might not have you in the, Microsoft Office or whatever you use, right? But I have a damn signature with my name, my title.
Man, you're asking too much, bro. People don't read messages. They don't read email. They be like, yeah, so like, dude, you got this email. How do you know? Because I'm CC'd on it. You got it too. Yeah. Pay attention.
Yeah. That's weird. Khujeaux brought that up and it just made me think about something too. So
it all leads back to corporate America being trash.
You are now listening to The Radio Show.
Tripe.
Oh, come on, man. Tripe.
These are good though, because in our culture, people do eat all of this stuff, and hell no, I don't eat that either. All right. And yes, I've tried it twice, and it's just a no-go.
So was the dude you were trying it for, was he worth it?
First of all,
I was about to say she hasn't responded yet, so I'm worried.
That's really effed up, but how did you know? And no, he wasn't.
You're listening to The Radio Show on YouTube and all other podcast providers.
All right, Khujeaux, man. Good to have you back on the show. This is like the old days, man. Go radio where it was just us. We the ones who started this whole thing. And look how this has grown, man. Look but look what this has turned into, though. Like, who would have thought?
What's this? This 15 years, right?
So close to, when did we start? It was 2010 when we started that, and then we've been doing the radio show ATL since 2015. We've been at this a long time, man.
Long time. That's crazy.
Yeah.
2010?
Yeah.
I don't know why I thought it was like 2008. I thought we started like early. Like
I feel like we were already doing show before we started recording it back then. You know, like we were already doing that. But yeah, man, it's good to have you back in the saddle on the show, man, and hopefully, you know, you back on a regular basis. You know, life be happening, but you know, it's all good.
Man. Yeah, dadding is definitely in full effect, especially. But yeah, I'm gonna try to be on here, man, and not die coughing.
Yes, please don't. We've grown fond of you over the years.
That'd be a good draw though. Co-host dies on air after returning from long hiatus.
I mean, but I don't need you coming back to the afterlife saying, "You see what happened? Even in death, I'm gonna start the show." As Khujeaux continues to die.
Plugs from beyond the grave.
Yeah, as he continues to die, we don't want him to die at all. We want you to keep coming back, just like we want the listeners to keep coming back. We appreciate everybody who has contributed to the radio show ATL, from the listeners, people who watch on YouTube, and all the people who helped make us a top 200 podcast in the music commentary category on Apple. We couldn't have done that without y'all. So if you like what you see, and you're like, hey, you know, that looks cool. You know, I got something I want to share. I got a talent. If you want to be a guest on the radio show ATL, just send us an email, theradioshow@gmail.com, or you can send us a text, 678-800-1677. We look forward to hearing from you. Khujeaux, man.
Harmonica player. Do something different.
You also have your channel of your own. You have your snack plug at Your Snack Plug on Instagram, but you also have a separate YouTube channel. If you want to speak to that, it's right there on the screen. But if you want to talk about what you're bringing on that, because people need to be checking you out, getting their feel of Khujeaux as well.
Yeah, I'm at Khujeaux on everything. KHUJEAUX on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and yes, my YouTube channel. Kind of focused on travel right now, so I guess you would say travel, but I'll still kind of do the snack thing every so often. I think that's more for TikTok, but also I'm getting into travel and food and local eateries and restaurants. I don't know, man. I'm just doing whatever. I'm just cataloging my life. You know, like it's basically what it is.
Check
and hopefully
them out.
you get some good information along the way.
Absolutely. And where else? There's another place that they can find you, Khujeaux. It's your home. It's where you belong. That could be what? What could that be? Where else can they find you?
Facebook.
Yeah, I was talking about this show that you have.
Oh,
created.
well, yeah, of course. Of course. The radio show ATL is where you can find me, and I love it here.
You gotta do what you gotta do. But
look, everybody remembers my name here, so that's what's important.
That is what's important. But again, like I said, you know, we appreciate the listeners, the watchers, and everything, because even, you know, Khujeaux's YouTube page, us, anything, every like and subscribe gets us another like and subscribe. So like and subscribe. All right. So again, we appreciate everybody, all the folks, you know, with the show and everything. And please just remember and never forget, you're not just listening to a radio show or some radio show. You're listening to the radio show ATL. Thank y'all for listening, watching, and supporting. Catch y'all next time.